Hey, good afternoon. Time for what is this? Daily check-in with Russell Hotels. I'm sorry about that. I had kind of a brain thing going on here where I forgot where I was. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Yes, it's the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. You know, this comes on every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So yeah, it's like 5 days of me, right? 5 days of me talking about or creating content about the world of hospitality, specifically hotels, destinations, content creating for hospitality. So yeah, so that's what it's all about, right? So let me turn the chat on. The chat is on. I do this daily check-in daily around noon. Yep, I call them nooners, right? So I do this daily check-in around noon, and I talk about. I always have a different topic for the day. Today is well. Yesterday was about don't sleep on third and fourth tier destinations, for your meetings and things like that. So today is I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that. Well, I'm ranking or I'm gonna give you the top ranked meeting destinations here in the US for last year for 2023, right? I can't give you the ones for 2024 because we're just started 2024. So I know someone will say, well, why aren't you doing 2024? Well, because the year just started. That's why. So I'll give you what the results were from 2023. So there you go. But before we get into that, of course, I always have a little something to go over. So okay, so you guys know I was in excuse me, I was in Greenville, South Carolina, from Sunday through like Tuesday, right? So, of course, everything I'm showing today, throughout the end of this week, which is, I guess, the end of the week is today, right? As everything that has to do with Greenville, South Carolina. So, the hotel I'm showing today is the AC Hotel, brand new hotel in Greenville. I mean, just some of these hotels, are just out of control, just out of bounds. You know how we used to be in love with or maybe I used to be in love with the full service hotels, because we thought they had all the bells and whistles, and a lot of them do, right? But these days, I'm talking about these select service hotels. Like AC is a select service hotel, but this one's kind of an elevated select service where it does have restaurant. It does they do, they will cater your function and things like that. But the unique thing about this hotel, excuse me, keep getting choked up when I do these things. The good thing about this hotel, or the unique thing, is the unique meeting space that they have inside this hotel. Event space, meeting space. I don't want to get those two things. It's not like those two terms are interchangeable, because they're not. They're not your traditional kind of meeting. Some of them are traditional where, four walls, your basic meeting package. You walk in, okay, I want a theater style for this, or I want a conference style or boardroom style, whatever. But just look at this where I'm now. I mean, let's look at the backdrop here. This is actually some event space. You can have events here, meet however you want to do it, right? It's non-traditional. Of course, it is decorated for like the fall, but I guess every season, and Greenville, South Carolina has 4 seasons, right? So based on the season, they will decorate it based on that. So right now, I think this was going to be the last of I guess, the fall through winter, and then spring is going to be, a lot different, right? I can't wait to see that, right? Hopefully, they'll send me something where I can see what it looks like for spring. I don't know if I'll be there in the spring, but you just never know, right? But yeah, so some of these spaces are so unique. They're just as unique as your clients are unique, right? Are there any two clients that are different or the same? No. All your clients are unique, right? So why shouldn't the space be unique too, right? Why do we have to have this cookie cutter where everything's the same? I mean, I put out an RFP earlier this week for a meeting, kind of an educational meeting or retreat that's going to take place in May. And a lot of the destinations I'm looking at are in this same region, like the southeast region through the northeast. So we're gonna see what comes back, and it's up to the client to determine where it's gonna be. But I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited about the possibilities, right? I get to go check out another hotel. That's what it's all about, right? So being in hotel site selection, or being a hotel site selection, whatever, specialist, expert, I mean, that's my business, right? So it's good to get out and look at some of the different trends, see what hotels are doing. This is a brand new hotel for the most part. It was built in 2021. So just see I guess the evolution of hotels and meeting space, right? It's not just your traditional space anymore, right? Some of these have speakeasies in them. Brand new hotels that have kind of a dedicated space for like a speakeasy, or they call it speakeasy. So that's what I'm talking about, right? So, can you just tell I'm just excited today? But anyway, let me just jump into, okay. This is a hotel, the AC Hotel Greenville, South Carolina, 196 rooms. I always want to give people the vitals of these hotels so they know firsthand. They don't have to look it up. You can look it up if you want to, but 196 guest rooms, 5 meeting rooms, 8890 in square footage, and it was built in 2021, like I said. And they got free airport shuttle, so you can't beat that, right? So you don't have to worry about Uber and Lyft, and just in case you wanted to, if you want to do Uber and Lyft, that's typically what we do anyway from the airport these days. If we don't have a private, shuttle or whatever picking us up or whatever, well, this particular hotel has free airport shuttle. So I'm sure you just got to call them and know when I'm here. And it's only the airport probably from the downtown area. I'm going to say it's about 15, 20 minutes. So, it doesn't take long to get there. And, you don't have the traffic like you do. I'm in LA. So you don't have traffic like we do in LA. Okay. So there you go. So I just want to show you those things because I think it's important that, when I go places, I want to make sure you see, what I see, right? So did I check to make sure I was live on LinkedIn? Let me just make sure while I'm sitting here that I am live on LinkedIn. I know I'm live on, there you go. Yes, I am. Hey, LinkedIn people. So feel free to make your comments. The comments will pop up on my screen here, and then I can say, hey, what's going on? Man, I'm getting choked up. Man, what is this all about, right? I was fine up until I came on this live, right? What is that all about? But anyway, we'll get through it. So yeah, so I'm live there. I'm live on YouTube. In fact, where's my, isn't that something? I always have my card right in front of me. It tells me exactly what I'm live on, but I guess I keep forgetting. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on LinkedIn, of course, Facebook, X. What's the other one? YouTube, X, oh, and IG. Okay, there you go. So I'm live on all those different platforms. So we're talking 5 different platforms that I'm live on. So you can always find me. You can always say, hey, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. You can just say, hey, send me a shout out. Say, hey, Russell, what's going on? Long time no hear, long time no see, or whatever. But anyway, before I move on, I've been sending out RFPs to a lot of hotels, right? So for this one particular group that wants to be on the East Coast or Southeast or the Northeast, and just the people that have been calling, because you guys know one thing I'm big on is thanking people for doing what they do, right? So the people that have called, they have asked questions about, like, say maybe they had questions about the RFP that I sent. I love when people pick up the phone and call, because that's a lost art, talking on the phone for whatever reason. And email is fine, I understand that, but a lot of times email and then follow up with a phone call if I don't respond immediately is a good thing as well, right? Because we always want things written in email because we can always go back to that email and say, hey, you didn't say that, you said this, right? And, well, no, I didn't. Okay, well, let me just send you a copy of this email that you sent me. And so, jog your memory, if you will. So I understand that, but nothing takes the place of someone picking up the phone and calling and say, hey, I just got the RFP. I'm working on it right now, but I had a couple questions. Okay, yeah, what are your questions? And we go from there, right? So that kind of builds a relationship, right? Emails don't build relationships. Emails just answer questions, and that's it, okay? So that's the difference between picking up the phone and sending an email. One is going to build relationship. The other one is just answering a question, and you keep it moving, right? So that's why I like that. It's all about reach out and touch. You remember that? They used to say reach out and touch someone. That was like a phone slogan. I don't know if it was AT&T or Ma Bell. I don't remember. Okay, but it was one of those where they would their tagline was reach out and touch, right? Reach out and touch someone via a phone call. So that's, like I said, that's a lost art. We just get so caught up in the email. We just want to keep emailing people, right? Well, sometimes that's good because you're in a crunch for things, but I think it's best sometimes that you just pick up the phone. Mix it up every now and then. It's okay to mix it up and say, you know what, I'm gonna call this dude. Okay, let me see what he sound like. Okay, because you can't figure that out on email, right? You cannot, see how someone sounds or hear how someone sounds or the excitement in their voice or the drama in their voice, whatever the heck is. You don't get that in email, right? So just thought I'd throw that out there, just kind of food for thought, if you will. One of those things that's one of those things that keep me up at night. Why don't more people call? I'm sitting there tossing and turning, looking at the ceiling, like, why don't more people call? Anyway, yeah, I'm being silly. So, okay, once again, AC Hotel, Greenville, South Carolina, 196 guest rooms, 5 meeting rooms, 8890 in square footage. That's 8,890 square feet of meeting space. It's built in 2021, so it's brand new. So you guys know the whole rule of thumb for renovation. But I mean, this doesn't apply here. It's 7 to 10 years, right? And I'm gonna say 7 years. 7 years is kind of, after 7 years, you need to be changing something, right? If you have the money, understand. And then free airport shuttle. So, okay, real quick, let's get into boom. So top destinations, top meeting destinations of 2023. And remember what I said, I can't give you 2024 because 2024 has not finished yet. We're not completed yet. This is the first month of 2024. So I can't tell you that because I know there's someone out there that says, well, why is he doing, 2023 when this is 2023? I know. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. So, okay. So on the scroll down here, it says, it gives me the top 10, right? So these are top 10 meeting destinations in 2023. Now, if you listened to me yesterday or watched me yesterday, I was talking about third and fourth tier cities. Okay. Now, if you look at these cities here, out of 10, I want to say there's only 4 that are 1 or 2 tier cities. The other ones are 3 and 4 tier. Orlando's probably a number 1. Nashville is like a 3. San Diego's a 2. Las Vegas is probably 1. Chicago's a 1. Atlanta's a 2. Dallas 2. Austin, Phoenix, Arizona, and Denver are probably 2 or 3s, right? So which is all still fine, right? I mean, it's based on what's going on in the area, maybe population or just kind of a lot of things to do in those areas. That's how I think how they rank as far as a 1, 2, or 3 tiered city. Of course, LA and New York would be number 1 because, entertainment, the entertainment in both areas, a lot of plays, Broadway type plays in New York. So there's a lot more things going on in those particular. But Orlando, of course, that's probably one of the top 3 cities because, they got the mouse there, right? They got, Mickey and Minnie, Disney World, that whole, world, that whole Disney vibe is there. So, of course, they should be in the top 3, I would guess, right? But Phoenix was a surprise. Nashville, I love Nashville. In fact, they say Nashville is the number 1 bridal. Like people have what they call them when people go and the bridal parties go and have a party, get together like a bachelorette party. Gosh, I can't even think of it. That's like the number 1 bachelorette party capital of the United States, Nashville. I didn't know that, but and you go there, and I was there like last year in last March, and you saw people everywhere walking around, ladies, with their bridal parties, and you would know which one is going to be the bride because she has a veil on and all this kind of stuff. It's just over the top, right? It was cool though. It was really cool, and I didn't know that until after I came back and looked it up or whatever. Said, oh yeah, that's the bridal, bachelorette party of the central of the world or United States or whatever. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, Phoenix and Denver. I've had programs in both of those cities. I love Denver as a meeting destination as well. I love Greenville, South Carolina as a destination, but Greenville would be a 3rd or 4th tier city, right? So San Diego does not surprise me. I would think San Diego would probably be number 1, but San Diego does not surprise me. Las Vegas is always in the mix. Chicago is always in the mix. And the funny thing about Chicago is that, you only have probably 5 or 6 good months in Chicago. So for it to be in the top 10, that's crazy. But guess who's missing? Do you see LA in there at all? as a top meeting destination? No, you don't. You'll see in San Francisco in there either, right? So you don't. These are the ones that you see for top meeting destinations. I think that was cool, so I thought I would share that with you guys. The last thing I want to talk about is boom. Okay, your trip is over. Now what? Meaning, I just came from Greenville, South Carolina. I'm showing you, a lot of the photos or videos from the trip that I took at some of the hotels. This is the AC Hotel again. But okay, your trip is over. Now what? So what do you do now? You got back to your office. What do you do? Now I've talked about these things before, right? So one, you got to follow up. All the people that you met with, you talked to, you got all these cards from, you have to follow up with them. How do you do that? I start with Steve Wilkins. Well, Russell, what is FI listed in? FI. What is FI? Florida? Is that Florida we're talking about? Is that Steve Wilkins, like cousin Steve Wilkins? Help me out here. Help me out here. Let me just put this one on. I have a cousin named Steve Wilkins, so that's why I said that. So Florida, I guess that means Florida. I don't know. I'm going off of states. I mean, I'm going off of cities, and these are the top cities. Now, as far as Florida, okay. Now, as far as Florida as a state, I don't know. I'm sure they may be in the top 10. And the reason why is because of Orlando, of course, is going to pull most of the weight. Orlando, Miami, those are going to pull most of the weight in Florida. But I don't know how they rank as far as states are concerned. I'm just going off of city, so I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. What's going on, fam? Appreciate you joining in here. Yeah, that's always a good thing, right? That's always a good thing. Let me just put your comments on here. See, as Mr. Steve Wilkins just made a comment, I'm putting his comments on the screen in real time. So feel free to always make comments and jump in here. Don't be shy. No one's going to bite your head off or anything like that. No one's going to scream at you. Okay. It's okay to make comments, and I'll put them on here. Because this is what it's all about. It's all about interaction, engagement, right? So no, I welcome that because it makes things go quicker and it makes things more exciting, right? Because there's questions that you want to know. But no, I don't. As far as someone's calling me, I have to call them back. But yeah, as far as the states, I'll do that. Note to self, Russell, do one on states, as far as the top states for meetings. But this is, like I said, this is cities, city or destinations, not just states, but destinations. But Orlando's number one. So I would say if Orlando's number one, and Miami would be somewhere in that mix too. So I would say probably Florida ranks in the top 10 as far as, top states that, meeting destinations per state. California would probably be in there too, I would guess. But San Diego's pulling the weight, right? So San Diego is like that destination in California that everybody wants to go to, right? Because it's just the perfect weather. It's a beach destination, all those kind of things. And plus we got my girl, what's her name? Veronica Rivera. She reps the city. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to go there? Because if all else, you just get to work with Veronica. Okay, so there you go. So shout out to Veronica. So your trip is over. Now what? So I just came back from IPEC in Greenville, South Carolina. IPEC stands for Independent Planners Educational Conference. Okay, so people like myself that do hotel site selection or a meeting planner, we go to these conferences along with our hotel and CVB partners. CVB stands for Convention and Visitors Bureau. They also go by the name of DMO. That's an acronym. Destination Marketing Organization. We call them DMO. So CVB and DMO are interchangeable. The old name was CVB. Okay, so that tells you how old some people are just by having a conversation like, hey, well, you work for a CVB. Some of the new people, they call it DMO. So they don't know, and so they can basically know that you're old school if you say CVB versus DMO, right? So you gotta be careful about how you say it if you don't want to be labeled as being, oh, he's old school. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter to me, but CVB, DMO, interchangeable term. So, okay, so I just went to this conference or this conference. And so I get back to my office. What do I do now? So I follow up, right? So I follow up with everybody I met with. If that's basically using LinkedIn. So I get this stack of business cards, right? So I get the stack of business cards and I go on LinkedIn and basically make sure I'm connected to those people. If I'm not connected, I connect with them. So this morning, I think I had maybe 40 business cards. I think I probably connected with, out of the 40, I think most of them were new connections. So I think I got at least 30, maybe I'll say 35 new connections. Okay, because I was not linked to these people, right? I had not met these people before, and that's a good thing. So I connected with them. Hopefully they accept my request to connect with them. But that's a way to keep in contact with people, where you can send things to them, they can send things to you, right? Little messages, in messages, or whatever. Great meeting you. So once they connect with me or they accept my request, I can start sending messages to them. Hey, thank you for connecting. Hey, it was nice meeting you at, in Greenville. Hope the show was great. Whatever that is, keep it light. That's fine. And then I'm sure they'll communicate with you if you have anything, like, because these will be DMOs or CVBs that will respond back to me, or hotels. So I'm sure they'll follow up with, hey, if you ever have anything for our area, let me know. I love to work with you, that kind of thing. Those are the comments I'm getting now. Those are the requests I'm getting now. So, hey, why would it start? So also I use Salesforce, right? So Salesforce is my database that I use, that I can, basically, if I met somebody, I put notes in there. I got their card, their address, all that stuff in there. I mean, their working address, their emails, and all that stuff. So I can always reach out to them, right? Just in case, something comes up and I need their assistance with something. And I always put in the notes, where did I meet these people? Oh, I met them at IPEC in Greenville, South Carolina. Boom. There you go. All the information is there. And then when I, say I'm sending out an RFP, I also copy and paste that RFP into my notes, right? Just like Delphi, just like you would do with Delphi, Delphi that we use in the hotel world. So that's what I use. I mean, I use Salesforce. LinkedIn contacts are huge. Follow up, you got to do it. And then send thank you cards, right? I always mention this. That's a lost art as well, right? People doing, and when I mean thank you cards, I mean handwritten thank you cards. Like, who does that anymore, right? Well, let me tell you this. Why would one do it over an email? You want to be remembered, right? Emails, everyone is sending out emails, right? How many times, let me just ask this. How many times in the last year have you received a handwritten note from somebody thanking you, or, hey, it was great meeting you. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for that. Hopefully we get to work together in the future. Boom. How many times have we received that? I'm going to tell you how many times I received a handwritten card last year. One. And I remember who it was. It was Debbie Vale, who is the national sales manager with Visit Pasadena, California CVB, okay, or DMO. That's who I received it from. Why do I remember that? Because no one else sent me a handwritten card. So those are the things that I'm talking about. I remember the people that send me a handwritten card. And believe me, when I have something for Pasadena, she's going to be the first one I call, or something for that area or LA area. I'm going to try to talk them into going to Pasadena because of that. Because if someone sends you a handwritten card, you're going to be taken care of, okay? Because not everyone is doing that, right? She is separating herself from everyone else, okay? Because everyone else, 9 out of 10 people that send something to me is via email. Only one person last year sent me a handwritten card, and that was Debbie Vale with Visit Pasadena. In fact, Debbie was in Greenville last week as well. So shout out to Debbie, okay? And keep up the good work. So that's what I'm talking about, right? So the thing you want to make sure as a salesperson that you come across different than anyone else. Difference is a good thing, okay? Don't mix in with everybody else, because you want to stand out. As a salesperson, you have to stand out. Just like as a hotel site selection person, I need to stand out, right? So why do I do these lives, these daily check-ins, or the On Air with Russell of Hotels, my live hospitality talk show that I do every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, same platforms and everything? Why do I do that? Because I want to stand out. Because it's your brand, right? It's my brand, Russell of Hotels. That is the brand, right? And I want to stand out. Russell of Hotels does hotel site selection as well as content creating for hotels, CVBs, DMOs, anything in hospitality, the world of hospitality. So those are things that I do, right? I came up with this. I came with this podcast, right? That I invite people to come on and they talk about their brand. They talk about not just the brand, their personal brand, but the brand they work for. Okay, they get to come on and say, and I ask this one question: hey, did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? And they go into it from there. They go into their career, how they got into this industry, right? I think it's great, right, for people to come on and talk about and share themselves with, the audience, right, or with the world, right? So those are things that I do to keep my brand or keep myself to separate from everyone else, right? I mean, there's other people that do this. Okay, that's fine, right? But I'm doing it for me. I'm selfish, right? I'm doing this stuff for me, and I want to make sure people know exactly what I do. These are three things you should always, when you're talking to people, especially when you're doing like lives and all that kind of stuff, who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. Those are three things, kind of like that elevator pitch that, back in the day, like, oh, you got to have your elevator pitch. What's the elevator pitch? You get on the elevator and you got 30 seconds between floors, between when the door closes and when the door opens on their floor, right? And then people get off, right? So you got 30 seconds to give them this elevator pitch. Well, I limit it to three things: who I am, what I do, and how I can help you. And if you can't help them, that's okay. Keep it moving. You ain't gonna be able to help everybody, right? Everyone's not gonna like you, and you're not gonna like everybody. So, but that's just how it is, right? That's how it is in your personal life, your business life. Hey, it is what it is, right? So just keep it short and simple, and keep it moving, right? Don't take things so serious, especially because everybody's not gonna do business with you. You're not gonna get 100% of the business that you asked for. It's just not going to work. But that doesn't stop you from continue to put yourself out there, right? Because if that was the case, I'd have stopped this thing a long time ago. Did you guys know I've done over 238 shows on air with Russell of Hotels, which is a podcast or a live hospitality talk show. Everyone's talking about it, right? So I've done 238. Okay. Now, if you throw in all the lives that I've done last year, I did over 300 of these lives, right? Over 300. So, hey, it is what it is, right? So it's only 365 days in a year, okay? And I did like 310 shows, right? So some shows I doubled up. I mean, some days I doubled up or whatever. This included, me being on someone else's show or someone else's live as well. But it was over 300. I want to say it's 310 that I did last year, 2023. So I hope to do more this year, right? So it's not like I'm stopping, I'm slowing down. No, this is a good way of getting your name out there, your brand out there, for people that didn't know who you are, what you do, or how you can help them, right? Because everyone doesn't know, even though if I did this 300 times last year, there's still people that I haven't reached. Okay, so just remember that. So remember that. I just got a call and it said Marriott International, and I know they needed something. So, but anyway, that's okay. But I'm sure they'll call back, hopefully. But anyway, let's see. I think that's about it. I try to keep these things between 15 and 30 minutes, and I'm at 28 minutes, so I'm good, right? So I'm almost done. So this is another unique space. I mean, this is, you come off the elevator and you go through this I don't know, winter wonderland kind of thing. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, crazy in a good way, right? But because you didn't expect it, right? You come off the elevator and you did not expect to see this. In your typical, you think it's high-rise building, brand new, in a downtown area of Greenville, South Carolina, right? So you didn't know what to expect. I mean, the hotel's at the bottom. You had to go on a separate elevator, not through the hotel, but around the corner, and had a separate elevator bank that goes right to this space here. So like I said, you just don't know unless you go, right? You don't know. You won't know until you go. You don't know what space you're going to see. Unique space at the AC Hotel, Greenville, South Carolina. That's what I'm talking about, right? So if you get opportunities to go to and see hotels, and of course I get opportunities like this all the time, right? But if you're doing meetings and things like that, and you're looking for event space, you just don't know until you go what you're going to see, right? So my job is to show as many people as I can what I see. And if you have questions at all, I'm a resource for it. So reach out to me. My email is russell@russellofhotels.com. you can go to my website, russellofhotels.com. Got the common theme there, right? My phone number's on there and my email's there. So there's no reason why someone cannot get a hold of me because I'm so transparent with my information. I'm out there. Or you can do LinkedIn. You can send me an instant message or you can slide into my DMs. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I don't control how people get a hold of me, but I make sure I'm available, at least at the very minimum. I have a profile on every platform out there. So definitely have one on LinkedIn. So if you're a business and you don't have, or hotel specifically, CVB, and you don't have a profile page on LinkedIn, shame on you. This is a business, right? You're running a business. You have to have a profile on LinkedIn. And I would go on to say that you need to have a profile on every major platform like IG, YouTube. I said LinkedIn already, Facebook, X, which is the old Twitter. Okay. You need to have TikTok. Don't sleep on TikTok. Okay. I got a TikTok profile as well. Right. So in fact, I just hit 100 people on 100 followers on TikTok. Oh, I'm big time now. Right. I just started TikTok. Right. So TikTok was not on my radar at first, but now I started doing more videos and I just hit 100. I just started maybe, I don't know, a couple months ago. So anyway, that's not anything big, but you got to have a presence is what it comes down to. So anyway, that's it. You guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much. Great weekend. And as always, if you didn't like what I did today, guess what? I'll be back on Monday to do something else. So hopefully you'll like that. So so as always,